Good morning, traders. Today is Friday, August 20th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, guys. Well, I was hoping that the overnight would give us a little bit more insight about the potential for where the market's going to move from here. Essentially, what happened yesterday was that the market opened, pushed higher, and then did a bunch of rotation up at higher levels. Okay, so it created a P shape in the profile. Let me get that drawing tool up and running here. So the P shape in the profile is an indication of more short covering and less new money buying. So it's not necessarily as bullish when you see that P shape. Okay, you add on to that the fact that we are trending down. It's tricky with the value. Because we had this one random day where value was inside the previous day, which was potential for rotation. But we know now, because price stayed below those levels, that that is not the case, right? So the trend continues to the downside with value being lower. And that's a very strong trend to the downside. So we need the market to prove to us that it's ready to break that downtrend, and it has not done that, okay? The overnight market tonight was basically completely net balance. It's a little bit long, a little bit net long, but not by much. Okay, they opened here and they're going to close here, and they did most of their trading in a rotational way. So I know that's slightly differently than how Jim Dalton looks at it, but to me this is slightly net long and not net short, even though most of the trade took place below that opening price. Okay, we're opening above, so obviously anybody that's sold in here has already covered those shorts to allow the market to push back higher. Okay, so we're opening inside the previous day's range and inside the previous day's value area. That increases the odds that the market's just going to have some chop early this morning. The first resistance, I think, to watch to the upside, more so than any other, is going to be that 20 daily moving average. Okay, so that's right above us at 44.17-ish, right in there. So when the market gets up there, does it find resistance? Does it have, sellers stepping in at that level? If so, that would be very bearish for continuation down to the 50 moving average. Remember, we didn't quite make it there the day before last. We came just short of it in the overnight. So that increases the odds that we need to get down there to actually touch that level. Remember, the longer term buyers, the stronger hand buyers who buy that 50, their orders are sitting there waiting. They're going to layer in down here, right? They're going to have an order right there and there and there and there and there, right? So the market not quite getting to that level means that there's still a lot of buyers waiting to step in down there, and the market loves to go find buyers. So that is one thing to look at. The other thing to note is the fact that that is right now. We got this trend line from the lows here. That moving average is also lining up nicely with that trend line. Okay, so that just means that 50 moving average on the daily candles is going to act as a strong support today, or it could. We don't know for sure. So you got potential resistance on the 20 and potential support on the 50. In between them, you're likely to just get rotation, right? The market's uncertain until it either gets above the 20 or it gets down to the 50 looking for support. It just doesn't know where it wants to go yet. And that's kind of what I feel like yesterday was, just an uncertainty day where the market wasn't sure which way it was going to go. So this morning, market opens in 1 minute. So this morning, I'll be watching yesterday's high as the first potential resistance. Breaking through that, coming back down and finding support around this area would be very bullish for continuation higher. And that 20 moving average is just above as the next resistance. Okay. If the market starts to sell off to the downside and it gets below this level here, okay, which is around that 92 level, that to me should act as support. Okay, because we did so much trading around there yesterday, it's where our POC from the regular trading hours was yesterday, and it's also where the POC from the overnight was. Okay, it's also both the halfbacks, and then this. Well, now I just lost it. And the fact that later in the day we tried to trade down below that several times and instantly pulled back up is bullish that there are buyers at that level. Okay. Good morning, RK Leon. Good morning, Jose. Marco, good to see you, buddy. Zeb is back with us. Good to see you. MK, good morning to you. Tom is back. Good morning to you. Okay. First little push down in the market instantaneously, basically absorbing that slight bit of the counter auction from the overnight being a little bit long. So again, we're looking for support right around this 92, 93 level down here. If the market finds support around this area, okay, look for the market to push higher. If it does not, if it gets here and it passes right through this level, when it comes back up, if it's finding resistance, that is a good short for continuation lower, and you want to monitor for continuation until we get down to that 50 moving average on the daily candles. Same exact idea on the upside. If the market is able to get its way above yesterday's high, and then it comes back down and finds support there, that is a good long trade to target that 20 daily moving average and then monitor for continuation if it pushes higher. Okay, once again, we're expecting chop here early in the morning while the market figures itself out. So anywhere between those two levels, I'm just going to let the market grind. I'm going to let it go as much as it wants, and I'm not going to look for a trade until we get above and come down and find support, or we try to trade into this level and find resistance. The support is a long trade, the resistance is a short. Same thing with this area down here. Market trades down to there. Finding support is a long trade. Pushing through, coming back up, and finding resistance is a short trade. Please smash that like button if you don't mind. 36 people watching today. Obviously, the YouTube algorithm has lost love for the pirate, so we got to convince it to send me peeps again. Thank you guys for those likes. Appreciate you. TV, good morning to you. Good to see you. Shubaho Deep, back in the house. Good to see you. No Futs, good morning. Vic T, good to have you back, brother. Arthur, good morning to you. MK, I think that's a great strategy. It doesn't necessarily have to be the first half an hour. Like I said, it's when the market gets to one of those important levels, and then it gives us a better signal. Good morning, Ronald. Shubho Deep, I assume that you're talking about in your comment here, you were looking for like a place where you could use market profile for Indian indices. I'm a little confused to what you're asking here. Are you asking about what settings you should use? Try to rephrase that question. Tom. Sometimes I have to reload. I assume you're talking about YouTube. Yeah, there are lag problems that happen sometimes. As I've mentioned over and over again, over the next 2 weeks while I'm at this Airbnb, I can't control the internet. If other people get on their computers and start using it, we'll start getting lag, and you're going to get that little spinning wheel. My apologies. I'm doing the best I can. Thank you, Arthur, for smashing that like button. Appreciate you. Marco, great observation. They're building up volume right here around our closing price from yesterday. Not great taper, though. 2,000 contracts to 700 to 100 to 80. Market might need to come down here and do a little more two-sided trade. They also barely got into that node of volume that should be acting as support. So there's probably a lot more buyers waiting in here. Let's see how the market reacts when it gets to yesterday's high. Once again, if it acts as resistance, we push up here and we can't get above, then that would be a short. If it pushes through and then comes back down and finds support, that would be a long. MK, my name is Charles. John, good morning to you. River Rock, good morning. Jay, good morning to you. Ah, I see, Shubaho. Yeah, I mean, Window Trader, you can just go to I actually don't know their website. I think it's like windowtrader.net. Just Google search for Window Trader, and it's the window is spelled without a W at the end. You'll find them. All right, so let's pop over and take a look at the internals. Okay, above the zero line. It's good to see on the ticks. And on the advancers versus decliners, straight pushed up above the zero line. Again, that is bullish. And we have a green bullish one from the breath as well. Okay, well, the ticks are set up for a breakout here. That is to say, getting above yesterday's high and then finding support. Let's see what happens. I sound like the trading guru Steve Primo. I don't know who that is. Okay, so obviously we're getting a bit of resistance here. You can see the taper on this high is coming in at the exact same place as the taper on yesterday's high. So now we're looking for support to take another push at it. And seeing that we've got our nodes of volume right here and our node of volume right here, which corresponds with our opening price and our halfback, I would think this general area should act as support if we are going to go break yesterday's high. Trading below this level would be the first indication of some bearishness. Trading donkey, that's got to be the nicest compliment I've ever received. Thank you, brother. Chitin, good morning to you. Welcome. All right, here they go, pushing back up towards the highs. Let's take another look at the internals. Okay, starting to trend higher. If we get back above that zero line, they'll probably push through. Okay, so there's a little short covering rally. So now we're looking for the market to find support around yesterday's high on a pullback. Okay, where we got this super thin volume up in here. The market will likely need to come back and backfill some of this Okay, 191 contracts. So what we want to see, geez, I was about to say we want to see candles turn pink above there, but it's already happening up here. So that is bullish. Man, right through the 20, bullish as well. Not quite through the 20. Okay, so yeah, once again, bringing in all this volume up here above yesterday's high is bullish, that there are new buyers stepping into the market. But I still feel like we have to come back down and put in some more volume at some point here in this area right at yesterday's high. This has not been tested yet, so you don't want to FOMO into a long here, even if the market is bullish. Or I should say, you can do whatever you want. I wouldn't FOMO into a long here. I would wait for the pullback that finds support. Okay, now that we're above that 20 on the daily, that could also act as support on a pullback, which would be viable. Good morning, Design Knob. Good to see you, brother. Good morning, Pavel. Good to see you. Tom, yeah, I don't give trade ideas. I don't ever say enter here, exit here. I don't give specific trades, but I give insights as to how I take trades. So what I said this morning was I wasn't going to take any trades until we got above yesterday's high, which we just did, and then we pull back down to it, and then we find support here, right? So if we pull back down to it and we don't find support, we pull right through, I don't get into a trade, or I get into a short right there. Or if we pull down to it and we find support, I get into the trade then. But I don't have I won't put like a limit order in here. It's not like I'm like, okay, great, one long contract right here, wait for it to pull back and fill. I manually enter when I'm watching it visibly in the moment. Everything I do is based off of feel. And so feel is something that I can't tell you ahead of time. I can't say when the market pulls back down here, it will certainly find support here. I don't know. I'll have to see how I feel when it gets there. Is it building volume? What is the tempo? What do the ticks look like? There's a lot of different things to take into consideration. That's why I don't give specific trade ideas, because the trades come to me like in the moment, like right then and there. I've been waiting all morning since the market opened. I've been waiting for it to do this, to push above yesterday's high and come back down. So my finger's on the trigger, ready to go, but I won't know until we get there whether I actually want to enter the trade. So we're looking for a trend to start in the ticks. We don't want them to get below the low of this first 15 minutes. Want to keep the low of the ticks there and then push back above the 0 line. Okay, buyers stepping in here at this higher level. Very, very bullish. So the odds of leaving this behind without retracing are very small. It's very, very rare that the market will push higher on only 74 contracts, 81 contracts. That almost always needs to backfill. But we have FOMO buyers in the market, right? So people who are buying, they can't even wait for the market to get down to that level. They got to have it right up here. They got to have it at yesterday or at 2 days ago's half back. They're so desperate for it. That is very bullish for continuation higher, as those FOMO buyers can really push this market. So you could have a short back to here. Yeah, but I wouldn't take that trade. Like, so right now, like, it's too early to officially call it a trend, but odds are this is going to become a trend day, meaning the market is just going to continue to push higher and higher every 30 minutes throughout the day. And so you don't want to fight a trend. So pretty much you have two options right now as far as the way I look at the markets. You either get long here in this node of volume, okay, as support, and then you put your stop below here. If you want to be extra safe, you could put your stop below here. Or you be patient and wait for the market to retrace down to here, but you might miss the trade. This might act as support and it just continues higher and you miss the trade. I would not try to short from here to here, because probability-wise, there's no way to know how likely that will be profitable. You might short and it just goes to here and then turns around and starts trading higher. So the higher probability is either entering here with a very wide stop or waiting patiently for the pullback and then potentially missing it if you don't get it. And then you have to enter on the next pullback. Yeah, Donkey, perfect example. You're trying to short this is like stepping in front of a moving train. Like, you're not going to stop that train. That train's just going to go. I didn't, Gianfranco. I haven't been taking any trades this week because I've just been too busy, too stressed, too much on my mind, and the internet's shady, so it just makes me nervous. So yeah, I let that one pass me by, but I definitely regret it. I'll catch the next one. There's always another train coming. Cinemat, yeah, that's another great strategy, right? You go long with one. If you're a person who trades 2 to 3 contracts, you go long with one here and then wait and see. If it pulls back, you add to it down here. If it pushes higher, you add on the next pullback. Everybody's got their own way. What I'm sharing here is just the market generated information. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. How you choose to trade it is up to you. Okay, value now overlapping to higher, which is bullish. I feel like A and B period has been reversed on every single day this week. Yeah, that has been kind of a thing. We've been talking about that for a long time, Donkey, you and I. It used to be the moment the market started to one time frame higher, so if the B period were to get 2 ticks above the A, I would go long and just sit back and relax. Like, I'd be like, sweet, we are one time framing, just let the money print. But now I don't really give it as much. I still look at it, I still consider it bullish, but I don't give it as much weight in the first hour of the day, because a lot of times it does start one time framing one way and then reverse the other. But for me, the bullishness is in getting above yesterday's high and staying above it. Okay, so for those of you that are new to market profile, this is what we call a poor high. A poor high is when the letter of one time period is one tick away from the high of the day. Okay, poor highs often get a push away, meaning the market has to pull back a little bit before it comes back up. When it doesn't, which in this case it did not, that is bullish. So many buyers, they didn't even need a pullback. So the market is now value overlapping to higher is bullish. We got above yesterday's high and we're staying above it, which is bullish. And we are now one time framing higher, which is bullish. Ticks trending higher and staying above the zero line, also bullish. Here come the laggards. No, dude, it's way too early for the laggards. The laggards will watch this sucker push for all day long. The laggards will wait until we've pushed like all the way up in here every 30 minutes. And then right when it starts to get exhaustion, that's when the laggards step in. And then we got to come back down and find support. So in terms of the adoption curve, right, these buyers down here, they were the innovators. The people that are buying above yesterday's high, that's the early majority. We're just starting. Okay, potential resistance up here at the base of the spike down from 818. Do you want to consider that, Donkey? You want to consider that an official call for the day? For those that are unaware, Trading Donkey yesterday said, I wonder what would be the stupidest thing the market could do tomorrow. I said, I don't know, rotate in a very tight range. And his response was, new all-time highs. I mean, of course, it's certainly possible. But there's a lot of resistance between here and there. I don't know. I mean, I guess look at this day. Look at the range we had there. I think probably this area up here is going to act as some resistance. Obviously this as well. But if they can repair this poor high, yeah, they can do all-time highs. But that would just be the most insane candle ever on the daily. So not very high probability. Okay, so if the ticks start to pull down here and get below the previous 15-minute low, targets on a pullback is going to be this node of volume at 44.25, and then this one down here where the POC is at 44.21. So remember when I said earlier, if you were waiting for this and you missed the trade, you can buy the next pullback. This will be it, looking for support here or in here. If we find the support there, that is buyable for the trend to continue higher. Okay, so we're not really getting any support at the first level. Ticks are saying no, Rocket. They're saying don't buy this dip. Don't buy the dip. Yeah, we're starting to lose that uptrend. I do feel like they got a little bit too hot and heavy, though. They got a little too FOMO-y early in the day. Okay, so one way we can ask ourselves, are we finding support here in this area? Should we buy it? Is by looking at those ticks. They're starting to trend down and they're below the zero line. So I'd like to see them do what they're doing now and start to push back above the zero line. That would be a sign that the buyers are stepping in here. Yeah, Shubho Deep. There's going to definitely be some resistance up in here, up in the area where I'm not looking at the overnight. I'm more looking at the regular trading hours from 2 days ago. This node of volume where RPOC was definitely going to take some pushing, some grinding to get through that. But we can tell who's buying here, right? It's the FOMO buyers. It's the momentum buyers. And if we've learned nothing over the last year and a half, we have learned that these FOMO momentum buyers can just keep pushing the market. So let them try to grind their way through and monitor for continuation higher. It's another great point, Jitten. Some of that is short covering of all the people who were shorting that 20 daily. They're finally giving up on that trade as well. Yeah, Joe, when I get back on it, I'll zoom in a bit. But let's take a look at the NQ. Man. Oh, man. If you went long at the open this morning, the NQ would have been an incredibly good trade. Look at that volatility. Give me them tech stocks. Gimme. Yeah, I mean, same as ES. Trending higher, value higher. Looks good. Okay, FOMO buyers starting to run out here. It's not great taper at the high, but it is acceptable taper. Tech is coming back. Did tech ever go anywhere? All right, printing the C period here. We've created some single prints, which increases the odds. The market will need to trade down here to backfill those single prints. Market is one time framing higher, so it is now trending higher. So the way I look at markets when they're trending is I only go long as the market remains one time framing higher, which means the C period does not trade down below the B period low. As soon as it gets 2 ticks below the B period low there, I assume the market is just going to rotate. Okay? So go ahead, before I close out this stream, go ahead and mark that level on your chart. 2 ticks below that B period low is going to be about 44.1975. As long as the market stays above that for the next half an hour, the trend continues. And it is likely to continue to the upside until you get that cessation. Thank you guys so much. For those of you that are members of the Brigade, give me about 5 minutes to get that all set up. Maybe 10 minutes, as I've had some technical glitches lately. But that should be up and running very soon, the private stream. And for the rest of you, have a great rest of your day. Feel free to smash that like button on your way out as a thank you to me. And I will see you all here tomorrow, or I'll see you here Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.